I made a tier list of every platinum I've gotten the past 5 years, and I'm gonna be ranking them from easiest to hardest. These right here are the 5 categories: impossible, tough, balanced, walk in the park, and insultingly easy, and let's get straight into it. Okay, first off, we got Wolfenstein Old Blood. Now, I think I'm gonna put this game in balanced, because the game itself isn't that tough, but the mastery challenges were a little bit, they did give me a little bit of a headache, so I think it deserves to be over here. Next up, we got Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm gonna put Red Dead here and Impossible because there's just way too much stuff you need to do, man, and there's a lot of RNG involved. You have to hunt a lot of animals, you have to do the multiplayer and grind the multiplayer. 70 gold medals isn't easy either. Overall, it's a very good game, but it's a very hard game if you want to platinum it. And thank God I did. I mean, shit, I spent God knows how much time trying to get this platinum. I think I spent like 3 months. Next up, we got Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4, I am gonna put in balanced, but over Wolfenstein. Typical Uncharted game, I think it was the easiest out of the quadrilogy. Is that even a word? Typical story, collectibles, a little bit of grind, but the game isn't that hard. The multiplayer DLC is a little bit hard if you don't have people. Just for that, maybe I would like to put it in tough, but it's probably not gonna be a high tier tough. Next up, we got Call of Duty World War II. Now, COD World War II, I'm gonna put in tough. The multiplayer is easy because you just have to grind, basically. You don't have to be good at the multiplayer or do anything crazy. The zombies are hard. The zombies are hard if you don't have people. Single player has like 2 tough trophies, the AA gun ones, but again, they're cool, they're okay. The pattern is the same, you're gonna get to it eventually, it's not that difficult. It's tough, but yeah, I don't think it deserves to be an impossible. It's an okay game, it's a pretty challenging game. Next up, we got Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. I'm gonna put this in impossible. This is a PS Vita game. I got this like 2 years ago. There's a very good video that Nick AR made about this game. If you guys want to check it out, you should. When I played this game, I think there were a few difficult trophies. There were a few of them. The one with the sniper rifle. There's the other one where you have to get through a mission without getting hit at all, which is insane. There must be a few others because I remember it wasn't just about those 2 trophies, but I can't remember them right now. But yeah, I'm gonna put it in impossible, but it's nowhere near as hard as Red Dead. It's tough, but it's not as hard. Uncharted 3, I want to put in tough. I'm probably gonna put it over here because I actually 100%ed all the games in the trilogy, and this game was pretty difficult to play on the hardest difficulty. I was stuck at a section for like 2 hours. It was fucking exhausting. Overall, there's nothing to it other than the collectibles, which are, I mean, a little bit of a grind, but yeah, besides the difficulty, it's cool. It's a little tough, but okay. Next up, we got God of War 1. God of War 1, I'm gonna put in balanced. It's not a walk in the park. Maybe, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in walk in the park because I mean, I only did 2 playthroughs. The video game is pretty linear. There's not a lot of things you need to do besides the main story. I think the only, hard, it's not that hard, but the only relatively difficult thing to do is get all the upgrades for Kratos, all the feathers and eyes. Which, okay, collectibles. Every game has collectibles. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in Walk in the Park because it's not that difficult of a game. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Rogue. This is a banger of a game, by the way, very underrated. I want to put Assassin's Creed Rogue in balanced. I don't remember much about this game. Honestly, I don't remember if at any point I struggled. So I don't know if I want to put it in tough. But most Assassin's Creed games are probably going to end up in balanced anyway. I presume there were collectibles in this game. I cannot remember for the love of God. So yeah, I think I'm going to put it in balanced. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm gonna put AC Odyssey in balanced, but I'm gonna put it ahead of Rogue. And the reason is because this game requires a hell of a lot of time, especially if you play the DLCs like I have. There are a lot of things you need to do. Yeah, basically just that. I don't think anything other than the grind really gave me trouble. Mount & Blade Warband. Warband is one of my favorite video games of all time. I haven't talked about this video game at all in my channel, but this is a good opportunity to do. Warband is a great video game, and I have the platinum for this, and I'm gonna put it in impossible because I don't think many people have this platinum. So I think automatically that makes it pretty rare and pretty difficult. And the reason it's pretty difficult is because the multiplayer trophies are a fucking dread. I got lucky and I found somebody to help me get them. I found a boosting partner. But if you don't have one, it's probably not gonna be that easy to get this platinum. Especially nowadays where Bannerlord came out a few years ago and the whole community has shifted over to Bannerlord from Warband. So you're not even gonna find servers most likely. Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry. I'm gonna put that in Walk in the Park. A very small game. I mean, this is basically a DLC. It's not even a video game in itself, a standalone title. It's a DLC. But I'm gonna put it in Walk in the Park anyway because it's not insultingly easy. There are a few things that you need to do, but yeah, I think Walk in the Park is where it deserves to be. Wolfenstein New Order. I am gonna put this game at... I'm gonna put this at the top of balanced. The reason is there's not really much of a difficulty to this game besides, I mean, the perks are a little bit of a grind and you need to find guides to help you with the ones that you haven't done. But besides that, this game is not that difficult. It was a pretty good game, pretty balanced, so it deserves to be imbalanced. AC Revelations, I am gonna put this in impossible, probably over here. The reason is, this game gave me a lot of headaches. First of all, I want to talk about the DLC, which is in the game, in the PS4 version. It's not separate from the game. There's a trophy called Impress Warren Divich, or Vidich, where you basically have to finish a course without dying. I just couldn't get it done for the life of me. I tried for 4 hours straight, watched every guide I could, I still couldn't do it. That could be a skill issue, but you know, I couldn't do it. I got it done basically only because I used a glitch I found. Also for Revelations, there was this trophy about finding the tax collector. The tax collector wouldn't spawn for the life of me. And another trophy that gave me a little bit of a trouble was buying every book. Because I did not have enough money by the end of the game to buy every book. So I had to basically steal from people, from NPCs, to make the money to buy all the books. And that took me like 2 days, which was fucking unacceptable. But anyway, yeah, a lot of, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I did something wrong or whatever, but this game gave me a lot of trouble. The Walking Dead. I'm gonna put The Walking Dead in insultingly easy, and the reason is, well, there's really not much to the platinum. You basically only have to play the story to get the platinum. This is the only thing you need to do. And yeah, I don't think it deserves to be above insultingly easy. It was too easy. It was not challenging at all. Next up we got Red Dead Revolver. I'm gonna put this in balanced. Half of the trophies for this game were a little challenging, and you might need to watch a guide to get them, but overall it's not a difficult game. Also, this game doesn't have a platinum, but I'm gonna put it here anyway because I do have the 100% here, so I'm gonna put it regardless. Next up we got God of War. I'm gonna put God of War in probably over here. Yeah, right before AC Odyssey. I mean, you got the boss fights, you got the collectibles. It's not the easiest game in the world, but it's not that hard either. I mean, you basically only have to do the Valkyries and get all the ravens. Those are the only tricky things you need to do in this game. And the game is not, like, the map is not that big, so you don't really have a lot of time to spend going from realm to realm, like I had to do with Ragnarok, which I'm gonna get to in a second. Next up we got Alien Isolation. That's the first game I ever did on the channel. I am gonna put that game in probably balanced, maybe. I spent a lot of time on this game. I did 2 playthroughs for this game, which was required actually, because some trophies for the first playthrough void, some trophies you're gonna get in the second playthrough, a few miscellaneous trophies, and you have to die 100 times, and basically that's it. Also finish the game in the hardest difficulty, which was decent. It was not that bad. Days Gone, I'm gonna put Days Gone in tough, right before COD. There's a little bit of there's a lot of grind in this game, a lot of preparation, especially if you play the DLC challenges. Those boys were fucking difficult. I had to watch so many hours of guides to get those done. This game is not easy if you play the DLCs. If you play just the main game, it's probably not that tough. It's probably gonna be on the lower end of tough. But with the DLCs included, which I am gonna include because I played them, it's a pretty tough game. Far Cry 3. I'm gonna put Far Cry 3 in probably Walk in the Park, but yeah, I'm gonna put it ahead of God of War. It's a pretty straightforward game, not a lot of struggle to it. Even the collectibles are not that difficult. You don't need to get all of them, like I mentioned in the video when I made it. Assassin's Creed Chronicles. Now, Assassin's Creed Chronicles is probably one of the most underrated games in the Assassin's Creed franchise of all time. And I'm gonna put this game probably... Nah, it's not as hard as Uncharted 3. I'm gonna put Assassin's Creed Chronicle over here before Uncharted 3 because there's a lot of problem solving that you need to do. Like, you need to be slightly smart to get the platinum for this game. I did this on the PS Vita. I know there's a PlayStation version. I haven't played that one. I probably will on the channel at some point, but I did this on the PS Vita, and the game is pretty tricky. I think it's as challenging as any game in this franchise should be. It's a little bit more challenging than the other games in the Assassin's Creed franchise. And of course it has collectibles, so yeah, I think it deserves to be on tough tier. It's probably gonna be the only Assassin's Creed on tough tier actually. We'll see. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm gonna put this in tough tier too, right before Chronicles. There are only 2 trophies that I remember. One was about finishing the course, and the other one was about playing the game on the hardest difficulty, which, I mean, of course, it's not gonna be a walk in the park, is it? Next up we got Wolfenstein 2. I think we all know where this is going. It's probably gonna go ahead of Revelations. I mean, the Mein Leben difficulty, I think everybody knows that this is not exactly a walk in the park either, is it? Yeah, basically just for Mein Leben, this game goes on the impossible tier, right before Red Dead. I don't think any game has ever given me as much of a trouble as Red Dead has ever given me, but it's still a pretty challenging game. It's a hard game. I was playing Mein Leben for a month straight before I managed to finish this game, so I think it deserves to be on this tier. Okay, next up we got BF5. I'm gonna put BF5 in balanced, probably over here. Yeah, I like it over here. Some multiplayer trophies are hard to get, for sure. The bomber one is tough to get. The pistol one was kind of a headache to do too. Even though I made it look pretty easy in the video, it wasn't. Next up we got Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I'm gonna put Black Flag in balance too. Probably... yeah, I'm gonna put this here because of the multiplayer trophies. They were pretty tricky. A little bit of a grind. Actually, like 2 days worth of grind, but other than that, you know, typical Assassin's Creed game, play the story, get the collectibles, all that. Next up we got God of War 2. Is it before or after God of War? It's basically the same game, just, you know, the story changes, but it's basically the same game. I'm gonna put this probably over, because there's more puzzles to solve, I feel like, in God of War 2. Yeah, basically that's the only reason. Okay, next up we got Valiant Hearts The Great War. This game is a masterpiece. I don't know how Ubisoft managed to make such a good game, granted how mediocre their games have been the past few years. I think it deserves to be over here. And actually, I'm gonna put Alien Isolation, like, on top of those two. Okay, so Valiant Hearts. I mean, the only trophy this game has that is tricky is getting through a sequence of button prompts without making a mistake. And that basically can be done as long as you practice a little bit. I don't think it deserves to be in Walk in the Park because the other games didn't really require any technical skill to get the platinum. So for that reason only, it's gonna be imbalanced. Next up, we got Uncharted Golden Abyss, which is gonna be here maybe. And the reason I'm gonna put it in tough is a few trophies require you to get stones by killing people, but the stones you get are very RNG based, and as you can imagine, it can get quite tedious very fast. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in tough for that reason and that reason only. I mean, of course, there are collectibles besides that, but for those stones, I'm gonna put it in tough. Next up, we got Far Cry Primal. I'm gonna put this in Walk in the Park too, because there were more boss fights than Far Cry 3. But even the boss fights were not that terrible, you know, they were not that challenging, so yeah, I don't think it deserves to be imbalanced. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is gonna be in balanced. It's probably gonna be a low tier balanced. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put this here. Typical Assassin's Creed game, play the story, finish some side quests, get the collectibles. There's only one trophy in this game that is tricky, and it has to do with running over the poles on the sides of the streets. But if you start getting through that early on, you're gonna have it finished before you even finish the story. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put Assassin's Creed anywhere above balanced. I mean, some people might because of that trophy, but I saw that trophy early on and I didn't face any problems with it. Ghost of Tsushima. You know what? Just because of the DLC, I am gonna put this, the multiplayer DLC, I am gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this in here just because of the multiplayer DLC, because the multiplayer DLC requires you to find people to help you, and you need to grind to upgrade levels. So yeah, I cannot put this in Walk in the Park. But if I didn't play the DLC and if I was only considering the Platinum, it would probably be in a Walk in the Park. The Last of Us Part 2. I think I'm gonna put this here. And the reason is, it felt at the time harder than Far Cry 3, but ultimately there were not that many boss fights in this game that I can remember. There's a little bit of a grind to this game. Upgrade every weapon. You need to play through this game 2 times, which I did, but besides that, there is not really that much of a struggle to this game. I cannot put it ahead of Far Cry Primal though, because like I said, there are not that many boss fights. Resistance Burning Skies. Yeah, I'm gonna put this here. I played this game on the PS Vita, by the way, so yeah, I don't think it exists on PS4. But yeah, there's a little bit of a grind for a few trophies. I think you need to upgrade the guns or whatever. I don't even remember. I don't really like this game. I played it. I got the platinum for it. I don't really like it. It's the reason I'm probably not gonna play any other Resistance game. Next up, we got Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I am probably gonna put this here. It was not as challenging as Uncharted 3. It was definitely not as challenging as this one. It was probably a little bit more challenging than Uncharted 4 though. Again, typical Uncharted game, play through the game, get the collectibles, and if you're like me who likes to get 100% in the games, play through the game on the hardest difficulty. LEGO Supervillains. I don't really like this game. There's a lot of grind to it involved, but the game itself is not that hard. I'm not gonna put it insultingly easy, but I'm probably gonna put this here. Uncharted 2. Was it harder or easier than Uncharted 1? I feel like it was easier, so I'm gonna put this here. Again, what I said for the other games is true for this one as well. Play through the story, get the collectibles, and if you're like me, you play through the game on the hardest difficulty. Assassin's Creed 2. Now, AC2, I'm probably gonna put in Walk in the Park. Yeah, I'm gonna put it here. Actually, no. I'm gonna put this game in over here. And the reason is, I think In this game, there's a section with a tank battle where you need to not be hit. That one was pretty tough. And of course, you also have to get all the feathers. AC Origins, I would put it here. This game was not that difficult. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of grind. I think I have like 160 hours in this game, but even the DLCs are not that hard. So I'm gonna put this in balanced. Next up we got Wolfenstein Youngblood. And Wolfenstein Youngblood is just pure grind. There's nothing to this game. So I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I mean, I can't put it in Walk in the Park, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna put this here. Because of the grind. Especially grinding the kills for the guns. Oh boy, that was so tedious. I fucking hated myself for playing this game. I hope the next game is better because this one was fucking pure trash. AC Valhalla. Okay, so maybe my opinion about this game is gonna surprise a lot of you, but I'm actually not gonna put this game in tough. I think I'm gonna put this game above Odyssey, but in balanced. Actually, no, I'm gonna put this... I think I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna put it on top of balanced. A lot of you are gonna say, oh, Drizzy, this game was hard. I had to get through the 800 side objectives. Yeah, all that is cool. But it didn't feel like that much of a grind to me because I would get through those quests before I would get to the story in that area of the map. So that way it didn't feel like that much of a grind. Actually, you know what? Because of the DLCs, I'm probably gonna put this in... I'm probably gonna put this in at the top of tough. But only because of the DLCs. The mastery challenges in this game, those were hard, I'm not gonna lie. But the game itself, I cannot put it above balanced. AC Brotherhood. Brotherhood was much easier than Assassin's Creed 2. I'm gonna put it in here. It was much easier than AC2. I'm trying to think if anything gave me trouble, because I feel like putting this here is gonna give me a lot of flack, but I just can't think of anything. So I'm gonna put this here. AC Unity. The only issue I had with this game was the multiplayer server sometimes wouldn't work, and that could be a pain. I mean, you know what? The side objectives for the missions in this game were not that easy. They were pretty tough. So I think I'm gonna put this... Yeah, I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this above AC2, just because of the side objectives. Alright, now we got Mafia 2. A lot of you guys love the Mafia 2 video, and I'm very thankful for that, but where do I want to put this on the list? I remember that it was not that easy. I'm gonna put it above Wolfenstein Youngblood. My gut tells me to just put it here, but I cannot remember anything about this game. I'm sorry, it's been a year since I played this, so yeah, I cannot remember much about this game. And I didn't really love it, so it hasn't been that fresh in my memory. God of War Ragnarok. Now, Ragnarok, that's a tough game. That game was a little tough. The boss fights were much harder than God of War's. So I am gonna put this probably above Uncharted 4. Because the boss fights were tougher, the map was much bigger, so you had to travel all over the world so you can find the collectibles and get from boss fight to boss fight. That was a little bit of a headache, but yeah. Assassin's Creed 3. I really like this game, I'm not gonna lie. I remember there was a trophy where you basically had to see every NPC in the homestead, do some animations, and that was kind of tricky. I also played the DLC, the George Washington DLC, that one wasn't that tough either. So I think I'm gonna put this game... I'm gonna put this here. I think it deserves to be here. BF1. Now, BF1 was my first ever Platinum trophy. I think. It's either that one or The Last of Us. And if you guys don't know already, I have a lot of love for this game. Actually, my first ever content made was about this game. The multiplayer trophies were not that difficult. A few single player trophies were not that easy either though, so I don't know where I'm gonna put this. I'm probably gonna put this in balanced. Probably over here. Yeah, I'm gonna put this here. There was this one trophy I remember in single player where you have to shoot down all the planes. That took me some time to do. And then you have to kill the officers in the Turkish mission. my memory is a little blurry. I don't remember much about the trophies in this game, but I do remember it was not that difficult, but it was not exactly a walk in the park either, so I'm gonna put this here. Lastly, we got Uncharted Lost Legacy. I think I'm gonna put this game here. Actually, no, I'm gonna put this here. Because on the toughest, on the hardest difficulty, I do remember I struggled a little bit. But other than that, typical Uncharted game, play through the story, get the collectibles, and if you're like me, again, you play through the story in the hardest difficulty. So, here we go, here's the list. I already know a lot of you guys are gonna have a problem with a lot of my opinions here. And if you do, please let me know down in the comments. I'm open to all opinions. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, please make sure to sub and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.